I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask, what is our policy? I will say, it is to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might and with all the strength that God can give us, to wage war against a monstrous tyranny never surpassed in the dark and lamentable catalogue of human crime. That is our policy. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word: victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory there is no survival. Let that be realized. No survival for the British Empire. No survival for all that the British Empire stood for. No survival for the urge and impulse of the ages that mankind will move forward towards its goal.
Britain was once the cradle of Western liberty, a nation that stood bravely against fascism, communism, and every form of tyranny the world could throw at it. A nation whose courage helped turn the tide of the 20th century. But today, something has gone terribly awry. The Britain of Churchill, of free men and free speech, is disappearing. And in its place stands a government increasingly hostile to dissent, increasingly intolerant of criticism, and increasingly willing to police speech, thought, and even private expression. This is not the Britain the world once knew. This is a Britain sliding quietly toward authoritarianism. In recent years, the United Kingdom has embraced laws and policies that would have been unthinkable just a generation ago. Under the Communications Act of 2003 and the Public Order Act of 1986, British citizens are now routinely arrested, sometimes 30 per day, for online posts the government deems offensive, harmful, or grossly insulting. Not violent, not criminal in the traditional sense, just offensive. Tweets, memes, retweets, jokes. This is the modern British criminal, and the message is clear. If you criticize the wrong policies, the wrong officials, or the wrong groups, the government will come knocking on your door. This is the state deciding what thoughts may be expressed. This is the state determining what opinions are acceptable. This is the state enforcing ideological conformity. In other words, this is the state ruling the people, not the people ruling the state. In August 2024, when anti-immigration riots erupted after the Southport stabbing, British leaders didn't just condemn the violence, they threatened to prosecute foreign citizens for posts made outside the UK. The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, declared that anyone whipping up disorder online could face consequences. The Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police went even further, threatening extradition for non-UK citizens who posted harmful opinions online. Think about that for a moment. A British official threatening Americans for exercising free speech on American soil, on American platforms protected by the First Amendment, and hinting at international law enforcement action. This is not democracy, this is not liberalism, this is ideological imperialism enforced through digital policing. The assault on free expression didn't stop there. In January 2026, the British government threatened to ban X, one of the world's largest communication platforms, because of concerns over content moderation and AI-generated images, issues that could have been addressed without threatening national censorship. Government officials openly stated they might block the entire platform from the UK if it refused to self-regulate according to their demands. Think about what that means. A modern Western government willing to shut down a global platform. Millions of citizens cut off from a major channel of communication. A political class deciding which digital voices may be heard. And when Elon Musk publicly criticized the move, the British government dismissed him and doubled down, referring to critics as threats to public safety. This is not the behavior of a free country. This is the behavior of a state frightened by open discourse. Meanwhile, Britain, like much of Europe, faces a crisis of mass, unfiltered immigration that its leaders stubbornly refuse to address. Despite public opposition, despite polls showing overwhelming concern, despite visible strain on services and communities, the government continues to pursue policies that transform demographics, culture, and public stability. And the consequences are undeniable. Crime increases attributed to unvetted arrivals, cultural clashes in once stable towns, overwhelmed welfare systems, neighborhoods transformed in less than a decade, rising social tensions that cannot be discussed openly without fear of arrest. The British people are told, do not question these policies, do not point to the statistics, do not mention the consequences, do not ask for accountability. If you do, you may face a knock on your door. This is not immigration policy, this is enforced silence. And all of this is happening in a nation where the populace has been systematically disarmed. For centuries, English citizens lived under monarchs who ruled with absolute power. Slowly, painfully, Britons wrestled that power away, building a system in which the government served the people. But today, the balance has flipped back. The average British citizen has almost no means of self-defense, no legal right to protect themselves, and no ability to challenge a government that is growing increasingly punitive. A population without arms is a population without leverage. And a government that fears no pushback fears no restraint. Here is the truth Britain's political class does not want to hear. Only the United States, especially under a strong nationalist administration, can counterbalance this trend. America remains the global spine of free expression, free markets, and national sovereignty. And when America speaks, Europe listens, even when it pretends not to. President Trump demonstrated this during his first term. He celebrated Brexit when European elites condemned it. He encouraged nations to reclaim sovereignty from Brussels. He rejected the idea of supranational control. He challenged globalist orthodoxy at every turn. This terrified European bureaucrats because it threatened their central project, a borderless, homogenized administrative empire run from Brussels, the same ideology now influencing London's policies, the same mindset driving speech policing, the same worldview behind threats to shut down social platforms. Trump's America is the antidote to Europe's creeping authoritarianism. A strong United States gives Britain room to breathe. It emboldens dissent. It encourages debate. And it restores balance. Britain does not need invasion. Britain does not need occupation. Britain does not need rescue in the traditional sense. What Britain needs is liberation of its liberties. The British people must speak out, peacefully, lawfully, but firmly against the erosion of their fundamental freedoms. And the United States must stand tall as a beacon of liberty, not a silent observer. To the people of Britain, your ancestors fought tyranny with unmatched courage. Do not allow your freedoms to be regulated away in the name of safety. Do not let your birthright be traded for political convenience. To the leaders of the United States, use your voice, use your influence, use your example. Do not allow the land of Magna Carta in the birthplace of the West to fade into technocratic darkness. Freedom does not vanish overnight. It erodes grain by grain, law by law, arrest by arrest, silence by silence. But freedom can be restored just as surely, through vigilance, courage, and the refusal to submit. Britain is not lost, not yet, but the hour is late. It is time to stand, before there is nothing left to stand for.
You see these dictators on their pedestals, surrounded by the bayonets of their soldiers and the truncheons of their police. They are afraid of words and thoughts, words spoken abroad, thoughts stirring at home. All the more powerful because forbidden. These terrify them. a little mouse, a little tiny mouse of thought appears in the room, and even the mightiest potentates are thrown into panic. They make frantic efforts to bar out thoughts and words. They're afraid of the workings of the human mind.
If you enjoyed listening, you can support the channel by hitting like and subscribe. If you'd like me to cover an event or topic in a future video, leave a comment below. You can also find me on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you for watching. This is American Hegemony. Stay vigilant.